Welcome to All Things Greater Burlington, where you will hear from the movers, shakers, and changemakers that are moving Greater Burlington forward. Here is your host, Stephen Brody.
Welcome to All Things Greater Burlington. Today, we have the pleasure of discussing all things young professionals in the Greater Burlington area. And over the past year, we've had the opportunity to interview different members of the staff of the Greater Burlington Partnership. And I have been remiss in not interviewing our next guest. And so I'm making up for that today. So Mac Holford is with us, and she is the Director for Young Professionals and the Event Manager here at the Greater Burlington Partnership. So Mac, thank you for taking the time and joining us today.
Of course. Thank you for having me. It's exciting. Glad to be here.
Well, you have been with the Greater Burlington Partnership, I think maybe about 2 weeks longer than I have. So you've got me
I'm the veteran.
Yes, you've got me on seniority there. Tell us, I guess, just to get started, what is the role that you play in being the Director for Young Professionals?
Well, with the Young Professionals Director hat, it's a lot of planning and figuring out what events we're going to do. I do have a committee behind me. It's not all just me. So it's getting that committee together and kind of figuring out what events we can do to get people involved and what the year for the young professionals is going to look like.
And what is the age range for individuals that want to participate?
21 to 40.
Okay. Yeah. So, and if you are 40, can you still be on it? Because I've gotten those questions. I've had someone say, oh, I'm 40. Am I no longer able to be in it?
I'm not going to kick you out personally when you turn 41, but I feel like by then most people are kind of ready. They've met their friend circle and they're kind of ready to graduate, if you will.
Yeah. So. What do you think is on the minds of young professionals? Because obviously I'm not going to ask your age, but you're certainly in the range of young professionals. So from talking to the members and the folks in the community, what are they looking for in terms of to better themselves and to be a more productive business person?
Well, one of the biggest things that you're seeing young professionals, especially this millennial area, we grew up in the age of technology and we've kind of gone into our professional careers at the start of the pandemic. And so a lot of us are working from home. And so the main question is, how am I supposed to make friends? How am I supposed to get networked with these people who have been in this industry for so much longer than me? And the Young Professional Program is exactly something that would fix that a problem, if you will. Mm-hmm. So yeah. We look to give people a lot of opportunity to network and get involved with people that have, the seasoned people that you feel, oh my gosh, how do I ever approach the CEO of that company? Or how do I get on the board at that business? And we can help you do all those things. So.
And give us an example of some of the events that you have done to address those concerns.
So the program has a couple different events. Some are new this year, and I'm very excited. Our big kind of flagship event is the Lunch and Learn. And so 6 or 7 times a year, we'll get together for lunch. We'll provide the lunch. You show up and sit in on a seminar. It's usually taught by a chamber business that'll come in, and we cover all sorts of topics. We've done tax prep, how to negotiate a raise. We've had home buying and how to prepare wills and all the stuff that people look back when they get in their late 20s, early 30s and start going, man, why didn't anybody teach me that in school? So We are here to teach you that. So
yes. And you also in the fall helped organized, you did it mostly, a regional conference. So it wasn't just limited to simply the Greater Burlington area. You went beyond. You went across the river as well.
Yep. So the Young Professionals Program isn't something exclusive to here. It's actually a national program. And so you can move anywhere you move. If there's a Chamber of Commerce, you can probably find a Young Professionals Program to get involved in. And I wanted to really capitalize on that. We're not the only ones. There are other regional conferences around, but not where we are. And so I wanted to tap into our surrounding communities that have these programs and say, okay, we're all young professionals. What can we do together? Not just looking through the scope of what can we do right here in Greater Burlington, but how far can we go with this? So
yeah. How much help do you get from the committee, Mac, in terms of ideas for what to have? Is it all coming from you, or is the committee saying?
No, they are definitely monumental in this. They are real thinkers, which is great. Sometimes we come up with so many ideas that we're like, okay, we have to shelf those for the next 2 or 3 years. So we look really far ahead, and they are really incredible at helping me do that. So
wonderful. Why don't we get to know a little bit about Mac right now?
Oh, no.
Yeah. Whatever you want to share. So you are not you're not a product of the Greater Burlington area, right? You're a transplant, as they say.
Yep. I've only been in the community for 2 years here in June, and it has been an interesting ride so far. But I come from Lake of the Ozarks, Missouri, so came up here for my husband's job, and here I am.
Yeah. And now that you've been here for a couple of years, what is it, if somebody asks you, what is it about this area that you find attractive? And because this is obviously, and the reason I bring this up is we hear that the big challenge in the area is bringing young professionals here, having young families get situated and want to stay here. Now that you've been here for a couple of years, how do you answer that question?
Well, I actually have kind of an interesting story that I like to pair with this question. When I got married, I told my husband, hey, your family lives south. It's warm there. Missouri's kind of cold in the winter. Let's move south. And his rebuttal was, oh, South Iowa? And so we came up here. And when we came up here to kind of see the town, I had this, okay, I'm not going to like it. We're definitely not moving. I'm putting my foot down on this. I want warm weather. And when I came here, it was just such a charming community. It has all of the big, stores that you want to go to in a bigger city. We have a Hobby Lobby and a Target, and those are things that I did not have in the tiny town. You could drive 40 minutes to get to some of those things, but I did not have those. Yeah. And so coming here, that was so interesting to see that we had this tiny town feel, but all of the amenities of a larger place. And so it's just, I don't know, it's cozy. I like Burlington.
Well, and that's fascinating because I think you're in a unique position where you can answer those concerns or comments that you hear from others, like, oh, there's nothing to do here. We have to move to go and find entertainment or to have a good time. And I would say you would say no, that's not the case.
I think people feel as if they shouldn't have to look for things to do sometimes, and that creates this problem. There's plenty to do if you look for something to do. Nobody's going to come knocking on your door and say, hey, there's an event down at the Memorial Auditorium, or, hey, Boogaloo is having karaoke tonight. No one's going to come tell you those things. You have to seek those out. And so, there are resources out there, Facebook, our events calendar, all sorts of things that you can find events, but there's always so much to do here.
Right. And so what does Mac like to do outside of the office to enjoy this wonderful area that we have here?
Well, I have the pleasure of living right downtown. And so everything downtown is very frequented by me. Corked. I love Corked, VO's, all those places downtown. So
yeah. Yeah. Now, the other hat that you wear here at the partnership is event manager.
Oh boy.
And that could take on a life of its own, obviously. So give us a glimpse as to that hat and what does that entail?
It's a fun hat to wear. I tell anyone that asks that I have the fun job around the partnership because I'm not often stressed out. I just get to plan fun parties and enjoy my time. So the annual dinner is kind of my big task for the year. It starts planning in July and actually happens in January. So it is months and months of how do I get 500 people in a room enjoying the space and having a good program. But we also have a couple award ceremonies that happen throughout the year, small business showcase, manufacturers luncheon, those sort of things. So celebrating businesses in the community too.
And we don't want anybody to think that this is all you.
No, it's all me.
Okay. Well, if that's how you want everyone to know, so be it. But you do have a committee as well that comes beside you.
Yes.
and helps.
Yep. For like the small business showcase that's happening in May, the ambassadors will be a large component in deciding the winner for that. I do have an annual dinner committee that helps me with all things annual dinner, fundraising, and so on and so forth.
Right. Now, if anybody has been to the annual dinner in the last year in 23 and in 22, you have seen a fabulous event, wonderfully decorated. And I'm here to tell you that a lot of that comes from the creativity and the vision of my guest here. Where do you get these ideas from? I mean, it's just to get it from your head onto paper and into reality at the Catfish Bend is phenomenal.
Event planning is always something that has actually been really interesting to me. I used to think that I wanted to be an events planner for weddings and stuff like that. I like the community feel that this job gives me. I get to do events and make them impactful, which is very cool. But I don't know. It's just, it keeps me up at night. I just look at things that inspire me and come up with ideas. And you can go into my office at any point and see just random furious scribblings of ideas and things. And then that's one of the things that stresses me closer to the event is, okay, have I actually done it? Is it going to come together the way that it is in my head? And so far, so good.
Would you call yourself a perfectionist?
I want to say no, but I feel like everyone else would say yes. So.
Yeah. Well, with everything that you put into it and all the different things that you're working on, I mean, I can't tell everybody all the things in the different parts of the office where leading up to the annual dinner, you have things strewn out. Yeah. I would think that perfection is a goal of yours.
I mean, yeah, I want people to be wowed. I want them to feel like they are a part of something cool and something, I don't know, awe-inspiring. It's not just about the awards. I want people to feel good that they're going to these events and celebrating other members in the community and other member businesses. And so
it's an experience.
Yeah, I want it to feel that way.
You want it to be an experience. And obviously, we've been told that it's like one of the major events of the year in the community. Mm-hmm. So there's got to be a little pressure on there as well to kind of.
It's not often that you get 500 people together in a room. So it is a lift, and yeah, it's stressful at times, but it's all good.
Yeah.
It's worth it.
So like, for example, do you wake up in the middle of the night and you go,
yes.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times my husband has had to hear me talk about some sort of theme idea or what sort of band I would hire for this event. It gets even worse when we see events happening on TV and I'm like, oh no, I wouldn't have done that. I would have done that. And so, yeah, he has to hear a lot of it. And I definitely bolt upright. Yeah. No, I should hang a chandelier. So it goes on and on forever.
I don't want to give you the opportunity to give any trade secrets away, but like when you come up with the idea, right? And you have the idea for like entertainment or decorations, is there a go-to place that you know to go to, or do you have to like get on the internet and search for, this particular thing? I want this particular entertainer. I want this particular type of decorations.
If I could show anyone my Pinterest boards right now, they would probably have me committed.
Okay.
I have so many Pinterest boards of different things that inspire me, different themes and collections. I have the next 5 years of annual dinners planned out. So as long as I'm here, they're already planned until I change my mind. So.
And you know what? She's not joking, because she has told us, not only do I have the 2024 theme, I've got the 2025 theme.
And I have music booked for both. I booked a band for 2025 and it is just now 2023. So
that's incredible. So let's make sure that you're here.
Yeah.
so we definitely want that to continue. Now, you also have helped out Amy Moyner on the Downtown Partners side as well.
Yep.
With all things downtown. Would you like to share some of that too?
That is just me keeping Amy sane as much as I can because her job encompasses so much. And so
Yes.
anywhere that I can step in on the event side of things and help it go off smoothly is just a big lift. And I like to be involved in that sort of stuff. Sometimes it's photos at farmers markets or putting out barriers or, planning other sorts of themes that I'm not going to talk about, but are very exciting and coming to farmers markets this year. So
Yeah.
that just helping out really.
But it's also utilizing your creativity as well, right? I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I'm sure that you have shared things with her of an artistic variety.
Yeah, we're kind of dangerous together because she is creative as well. And so we can go on and on and on forever. And then at the end, we're like, can we actually do this? Is this reasonable? So,
And
we'll see. We'll see. 2023 is going to be some new and exciting stuff for farmers markets and downtown events. We're adding some new elements. And so fingers crossed.
whose idea was it for the tiger prints? Was that yours or was that Amy's?
Nope, that was all Amy.
That was Amy.
She came to me and said, hey, I want to do tiger prints. And then we just kind of stared at each other because what she wanted me to do was make the stencil to make it possible. So, I just made the stencils there.
Yeah. Interesting question that I think would be good to pose. And we kind of ran into this in a conversation in the office last week. And I'm sorry to put you on the spot, but I will. What do you see as some challenges that folks need to know in terms of like your generation versus maybe my generation? There's obviously generational differences. We hear that a lot. And the one issue that popped up was just with terms and terminology, how one can interpret one word versus how someone else can interpret one word. And I don't know if that plays into then young professionals and planning and activities, but you know where I'm going with this? So
I mean, there's a big, I don't want to call it a divide, but there is a big difference. And the internet culture lately has made that a little worse, in my opinion, because it is kind of a meme, if you will, to make fun of boomers and the millennials. And now it's Gen X or Gen Z, whoever's down there. But, and so it's kind of become an in thing to further separate the generations. And the Young Professionals is actually incredible at pulling that back together because with a Young Professional membership, you're invited to all of these chamber functions for free. Mm-hmm. And so you get to go to business after hours or our award ceremonies and kind of see that, yeah, they're 20 years, 30 years older than you, but they're still fun and they're still doing things that you enjoy. And they might not know what foodies are, but they're the same people as you. They're just the older version. And so we are trying to connect the community in that way and getting them involved in the older generation that they're so intimidated by sometimes in a corporate setting.
Right. Well, and let's touch on that for a second because you brought up the word foodie. And that was, honestly, that was something that we had a different viewpoint on, and I think it's simply because of who we are.
Yep. That
if I think of foodie, I think of a place where you're going to eat. Mm-hmm. You're going to eat food like it's a restaurant. Honestly, that's what I think. You had a completely different take on that. Mm-hmm. And foodie to you means what?
It's more the person that goes to the restaurants. So it's just almost the same thing, but mildly flipped. A foodie is somebody who enjoys going to those restaurants, where, as you were looking at it, as more of the foodie is the business. So but those sorts of things.
The person simple versus the establishment, mm-hmm. Right? And see, look how vastly different an interpretation could be of one word. Mm-hmm. So now, have you had how much of a challenge have you had, Mac, in, I guess, reaching out to young professionals? Because again, you're in that range where folks are wanting to start a family. And as they start a family, they're getting young kids and then they start getting pulled in different mm-hmm. directions. So as an organization, then how can you navigate that?
It's been interesting, especially since the pandemic, because a lot of us went to work from home. We kind of shut ourselves in. We thought, okay, I don't really need to go out. Everything that I enjoy is inside of my house anyway. And so it has been an interesting challenge to get people pulled back out of their comfort zone and into the community because we've all been so distant for a while. And so that's been interesting. we're working on getting an online community going in the young professionals that will make it more comfortable for people to meet each other that are in the group in an online setting, which you can do from your couch. And so it's more comfortable already. But then you can kind of plan, okay, well, I've talked to these people online and they're going to this event, so I'm going to go to that event. Because nobody wants to go to an event by themselves and then have to try and, okay, how do I just walk up to that circle of friends and introduce myself and stuff like that. So hopefully by introducing this online mediator, we'll see that improving as well. But it is just getting better on its own with time. People are kind of ready to get back out. And something that we try to do is show that, yes, you are, to your point, trying to start a family and you're getting married now and you're going off in your career. But the people who want to be involved in the community always seem to find the time. And Mankey actually said something at a conference and recently at our annual dinner that I just love. And it's say yes more to the things that matter to you. So just say yes. And we try to show that to the young professionals, where if you really want to sit on these boards and you really want to volunteer and be involved, and yes, your couch is more comfortable at 5 p.m. on a Friday night, but come out, get involved, be a part of something, and you'll go places.
Yeah. What does it take to be a member of the young professionals here?
It takes filling out a registration form online, and $75 covers the membership for the whole year. So that covers your food, the lunch and learns, tickets to some of the places that we go that have an entry fee, cover charge and stuff. So
yeah. And do you raise any money during the year, or is it basically just the membership dues that covers the activities?
It is mostly membership dues, and it has primarily been in the past. We are trying to start a fundraiser this year. I don't know what it will be or when, but for things like T-shirts that say volunteer, so that when we go somewhere, we can have young professional T-shirts that have our logo and volunteer on the back, and just some swag, stuff like that, to make it feel, I don't know, a little more put together when you come to things. We're all in matching shirts and have matching name tags and stuff like that. So
is there and maybe you've touched upon this already, Mac, is there a goal for the young professionals, whether it is a project, whether it is membership numbers, whether it is attendance? Is there anything in particular that you have focused on and said, this is what I want to see for the young professionals, let's say in 2023?
I don't really have specific numbers. My big thing, and it's with anything, young professionals or not, is just to make it feel bigger and better. I guess if I had to pick one to kind of single out, though, I would like the group, the program itself, to have more visibility in the community. I want, when a new person moves here, or in 1 in 10 people they talk to or something, for somebody to go, oh, you're in the young professionals range. Are you thinking of joining? Have you heard of it? Because I got lucky because I work here and I run the program, but I don't know if anyone would have shown me the program when I moved here 2 years ago, before I worked here. And it is the perfect example of what would have helped me get involved in the community and get to know people. And it would have made me feel less alone in a brand new place. I moved up here. We don't have family here. We don't have friends here. And so it would have been a great opportunity to get involved and get to know some people. So I guess that's my goal, for the community to know that we exist and to know what we are and what we're trying to do, and to have a presence.
How would you like to see that done? Is that something that you think is on the businesses to do? Is that something from within the Greater Burlington Partnership to do, or maybe it's both? What are your thoughts on that? Because it's a very valid point, very valid concern.
I think it's a couple things. The first is actually getting into the community so that people see us. And this is kind of why I don't just want matching T-shirts for the fun of it. Like seeing a group of 10 or 20 people in the same shirt out at events, volunteering or doing Earth Day cleanup or things like that, that puts our name out there and people are going to go, oh, who are those people? What do they do? Having a booth at a farmer's market or something, kind of showing that we're here and this is what we offer. So community outreach is the first part of this. But then, of course, it's on the members to advocate for the program. If they're enjoying it, they're going to talk about it. And the businesses are some of our biggest supporters. They're the ones enrolling their staff in this. You can enroll as an individual, but a lot of our members come from the staff saying, hey, you should do this. I want you involved in the community. And so, yeah, they're a huge, huge part of this.
Sure. Are you comfortable? I mean, you're doing a very good job today on air. Are you comfortable in speaking in front of groups? Because there's service clubs that obviously you could do that outreach to. And whether it's you or whether it's somebody else with the young professionals that could do exactly what you're asking for, is to get that message out to the community, to let them know more about young professionals and how they can help and how to partner together.
I haven't done it enough to say I am good or bad at it. I am not opposed, but it does make me wildly nervous. But this is something that the young professionals is kind of pushing me to do. I spoke, or I have spoken at a couple different things now, and I'll be speaking at our launch party that is probably done and past by the time this airs. But so I don't know. It is helping me get out of my comfort zone. But yeah, speaking at those service clubs is a great idea.
Yeah, because I'm thinking that would be because you're going to have a good network of business leaders that are going to be there. And if they don't know enough about young professionals, I think that'll be a wonderful opportunity to be able to remind them of the program and all the benefits of it.
Yeah.
And then you can encourage, and that's be a great way to encourage more people to come to the area.
Yep.
Well, that's wonderful. So if people want to learn more about young professionals, how can they do that?
On our website is a great place to start. But if you have additional questions or stuff like that, you can always email me. It's just youngprofessionals@greaterburlington.com. And I'm happy to answer any questions that come up and get you enrolled or explain the benefits more.
You've got a greater social media presence than that as well. I mean,
oh yeah, you've
got Facebook too, right?
Yep. Sorry, I don't know. I guess I'm getting too old to think of Facebook. I don't know if it's a sign of the times, but yes, we do have a Facebook page. It is just the Greater Burlington Young Professionals. So we answer questions on there. My council tries to keep up on comments and stuff there too. So
is there other social media that you're doing other than Facebook? Because when you did that, I was kind of like, oh, so if it's not Facebook, is it something else? I know you mentioned Pinterest for yourself personally.
No, the Young Professionals doesn't have a Pinterest board yet, but no, it's a program called Discord, and it's just an online community building platform that allows you to create topics that people can comment in different threads, so that it's not just one giant conglomeration of media. It's something that I wanted to do last year, and then it kind of rolled in a different direction than I did. I stopped thinking about it, but this year we're going to get it up and running and hopefully have an online presence there where we can start building that community and then seeing those people come out in person. So
yeah, maybe one other question that I have is, in the chamber world, of course, we have colleagues in the region where we can contact our counterpart in this community, in that community. Is there something similar to that with young professionals? I know you said that it's national, and usually wherever you move to, there's probably something. Do you have some sort of a network in Southeast Iowa or maybe across the river into Illinois that you communicate with?
This is something that we're working on, and it's why I introduced the regional conference instead of just a Greater Burlington conference last year. I want people, when they are looking for resources or jobs or stuff like that they can't seem to find in Greater Burlington, to know that they don't have to go far. Just down the road and, somewhere, I don't know, just down the road, you can find those places and those resources and those people that know how to help you. So the conference is one way that we're doing that. This year, one of the new events that we're getting into is something that we're calling field trips. And so we are going to take limo rides out to our surrounding communities to do different things and participate in some of the big things that they have going on. One of them in July, we're going to Galesburg. They have a new event center there. It's a tap house. We're going to be taking limos there to hang out and meet up with their young professional program. They have a huge young professional program in Galesburg. And so we're going to meet up and see what it is that they do and what they're about and the things that they offer that our members can take advantage of. So
That's excellent. Well, we're just about out of time. And so I really appreciate you coming and sharing all things young professionals.
Of course.
Things are obviously moving in a good direction. And like I said, anyone who went to the annual dinners, they had a wonderful time. And kudos to you again for taking your thoughts and putting it there and making it
Thank
a
you.
reality. And I just appreciate the creativity that you bring to the organization.
There's more to come.
Yay. Stay tuned, right?
Yep.
Well, we appreciate you listening, and don't forget to like and subscribe. If there's any guests that you would like us to interview at All Things Greater Burlington, reach out to us at the Greater Burlington Partnership, and we will get them on our calendar. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time.
You have been listening to All Things Greater Burlington with Stephen Brody. Be sure to hit the subscribe button to catch all new episodes. To learn more about All Things Greater Burlington, visit greaterburlington.com/ATGB.